Algernon October with the check-in on Hip Hop United. We've got another dope figure that's making a huge impact on the city. A hip-hop historian, a cultural preservationist that makes any event he's attending official. We got Nuface in the building. Nuface is here. What's going on, King?
Hey, man, I might need you to follow me around with that type of intro, man. I just push a button.
There you go. I got you covered. I
appreciate it, man. It's an honor to be here, man. Honored to follow your journey and support the brand, man. Hip Hop United. I've been seeing it for a long time. You know, I'm there, but y'all say I'm there, but y'all see me there because y'all there too.
Hey, that's what's up, my brother. Well, we definitely are honored to have you in the building. Now, for those who don't know you, who aren't aware of your background, tell us how you started collecting memorabilia and how you started cataloging it.
Prior to hip hop in my life, toys, G.I. Joe, Transformers, masks, just playing toys, water guns, everything. It wasn't until my father first took me to the mall. He bought Adidas tracksuits for me, him, and my cousins, black with the 3 stripes, and the shoes.
Oh.
And so, you know, I'm like, oh, I'm about to be fresh as hell at school tomorrow. You know, that's all in my head. But then it wasn't just that. We put that outfit on and we went to Cobo Hall, which is nice, like a nice arena where they play basketball at. And I had went prior for the circus, so I'm thinking maybe it's a circus, whatever. It's full of people all going in there, and I'm like, okay, it's packed, but what is this about? And I go on and look at the stage. It's 3 white boys on stage. This is the Beastie Boys. Then it gets to one dude on a boombox rapping, and this is LL Cool J. Next artist is Run DMC. They get to a point where they say, if everybody got Adidas, take your shoe off and put one in the air. And I'm like looking at everybody else do this, but subconsciously I didn't really pay attention. I wasn't big on name brand anyway. I just thought it was fly. But I'm like, oh shit, I got Adidas on. Oh, I'm gonna take my shoe off, and I'm like everybody here. And so that's when it clicked, like, okay, this is like a genre. This is a thing where it's not just black, it was white, it was women, it was Hispanic, it was like all genres, and it was all related to hip-hop and those Adidas. So it wasn't until then that I really locked in, and it was that point in. After that concert, rap magazines, rap pages, the Source magazines, cassette tapes, vinyl, like anything rap, I was in it. And when you talk about collecting, I still have that ticket stub.
Wow.
And that was 1986.
Wow.
So when people say about collecting, and then my father, they bought me a toy. I called him Dapper Dan. It taught you how to zip and snap and everything. But I still had that doubt. Like it was just in my nature, like not to throw things away. Like I think I get it from my grandmother. Like I go in her basement, she still had the old bell bottoms and just everything. Because she would always say everything old becomes new again. And I remember my cousin coming over for a party that had to be like the 60s or something. And my grandma was like, go in the basement, I'm sure you can find something that I can wear. And then my cousin found an outfit from a whole nother generation, but she ain't had to go buy it. So even like when 21 Savage, Lotto had these 80s parties or 2000 parties, everybody else going out shopping. I just go in my closet and pull out my FUBU, my Jabos, my Maurice Malones, my baggy jeans and jerseys that I already never threw away.
Still got them. Mm-hmm. Now, you got a whole museum. Like, how long did it take you to curate that? And I think you had Parlay, the franchise boys, come in not too long ago, man. Tell me about your museum.
So, again, I've always been a collector, but it was just always at my house. It wasn't until, I'd say, I always wanted to do it, but it wasn't until T.I. and them started 6 years ago at the Trap Music Museum.
Hey.
They had this idea to do it, and I was getting multiple calls. Shout out to Maya Bailey of City of Ink. For suggesting me, but it was multiple people. And then when Tip had me come up to this Trap Music Museum, which is now before it was even built, I just laid out everything trap influence, trap from Jeezy to Gucci to T.I., but I laid out like everything that had T.I. on it, like multiple, like over 20 covers he was on, all his music, everything. He really just clicked like, damn, you really been there, like from the very start of his career. I've been there, so it was like it was only right that I was a part of that, and so my collection was featured in the OG room in the back. Now it's dedicated to OG Clay Evans, but my collection from my magazines to everything was all included in the Trap Music Museum. And then once that happened, I started Nostalgia. That's what I call my museum. I'm Nuface, and everything that I kind of do is gonna start with the new NU, from New Style to New Apollo to the Nostalgia Museum. And I opened up one during COVID, sponsored by Red Bull and Greenwood Whiskey, and I took over the old bank on Peachtree. It was an old bank, and it was only in 1910. It was only white people could bank there. So to come, generations later to have my collection in there, and I sponsored, I had B-Boy, I had breakdancing, I had plaques from Patchwork, I had, Killer Mike artwork from the swag shop, and that was 3 floors of my collection. And I filled up a whole bank with my collection. And it was on for a whole month. And so I gave tours. You can buy a ticket and walk around, but I was giving, for extra rate, you can come in and I'll give you a tour and tell you where I got all this and these autographs and things like that. So that's where the museum came about. And then my ultimate goal is kind of, the high museum, and then eventually have one of my own. Like Killer Mike said, like Nuface need his own house to where it's like downstairs and his daughters is in the merch room, and then they close, he turn the sign around and he go upstairs and they live, in the same space, you know what I'm saying? So that's a big goal for me. But full circle moment, LL Cool J was my first show, and I decorated the boat, the first Rock the Bells cruise.
Wow.
It was the first one, so we went from Miami to Bahamas, but my collection was on display on the 7th floor of that whole boat, and that was an honor just to, full circle moment, to have LL Cool J be the first rapper I see to get a check from him on the first hip hop cruise and a free vacation out of it. You know what I'm saying? I got paid. It was free. It was a vacation, and I'm on a boat with like Big Boy, Little John, Ross, Too Short, like a rap fan's dream. So that's the inspiration, but, it's more to come.
Wow, that's amazing. And congratulations on your recent honor, being named one of the first ever Faces in the City, recognized by the mayor. How does it feel to receive this type of love, especially from ATL?
Oh, man, it means the most because, the whole phrase, Atlanta's big on saying, I grew here, you flew here.
Yeah.
But to be like embraced from the city, knowing I'm not from here, I'm really from Detroit, but, it means a lot to, you go on somebody else's block and they show you love, and I learned that from Detroit because we got east side, west side. So, you just kind of pay respect to the right people, and I've always just held Atlanta in a high regards, from the hospitality from everywhere, every side of town that I lived on. Something monumental happened in my life, and it's nothing that I respect and love more than the city of Atlanta. So that meant a lot. And even last year, the mayor in the city of Atlanta with Butter ATL, they commissioned me to put together a hip hop time capsule. And so we put together, I went to Magic City, got some wings. I went to Walters, got a hat. I got the Fabos glasses from D4L and something from Soulja Boy's glasses, and we all put it in a time capsule to be buried for 25 years. So, be a part of history with the History Center in the city of Atlanta. It's an honor to be recognized from people like that. And, it's Andre. We got a mayor named Andre. And so to be a part of that and him saying Nuface and knowing what I do, that means a lot.
That's crazy. Now, you mentioned you were from Detroit. What kind of connected you to Atlanta? What brought you here?
I always say Freaknik, and then I just go into, that's really what it is. I came down here on a college tour. A good friend of mine, Damon Thomas, he was already going to CAU. He was in Mass Comm, and he was actually already doing videos for T.I. He did 24's video. He did Laffy Taffy for D4L. Okay. He was already in it, and he was like, come down here, and this is what I'm doing. And I followed this step. But it was a tour, Clark, Atlanta, and they gave us a tour, and then there was like a break, and they said, you got 2 hours, go around the city and check it out. And I hopped on the MARTA, and the MARTA took us down away, and then we get stuck in traffic, and I see why. It's Freaknik. And I look over, and it's like Too Short in the car here, and girls on top of cars, and Jermaine Dupri with four-wheelers, and crisscross, and I'm like, this is beautiful. People with rims and chains, and I was like, this is heaven for a rap fan, because I'm seeing everybody, and this is normal.
Anyone at that point.
I went to Lenox Mall. Lenox Mall looked like a club, like it just, and I was like, oh no, I'm coming back. So that was '94, and I was just like, no. I told my family, like, I'm going to go to college at Clark Atlanta University. I didn't say nothing about Freaknik. But I found where I want to go, and that's inspired from like shows like Different World or Do the Right Thing with Spike Lee.
Yeah.
I love just seeing like people like us that were like having it and wealthy and inspiration, and the music was like bass heavy. That was Shy D and Kali Park and Camp. They were big then, so I was able to see just the start of all So Def Bass All Stars. Like just the music around that time was just like, oh, this is heaven for me. You know what I'm saying? So that's what got me here, Freaknik. And years later, the Hulu documentary, my footage is in there because I was here 95 camcorder ready. I went and bought a camcorder. I was like, oh, I got to show people that was the goal, to show people in Detroit like what I was seeing, because they couldn't just believe it, like the stories I was telling, and women dancing on top of cars and what guys was doing, and it was just like, no. So I recorded, like I have videotapes from years of just from 95, 6, 7 of just me walking around the city. You know what I'm saying? So for Hulu to contact me last year, like, let's check out some of your footage. I was like scared at first, but I'm like, at least I'm behind the camera. But they commissioned and paid me for some footage and probably used less, which is good. But it just was an honor to be a part of that project and to be there.
Yeah, you got a chance to see old Atlanta before it
it's
became
original.
what we see today, which
Facts.
is definitely a point of discussion. Outkast was recently inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Shout out to Big Boy and
Man,
Three Stacks.
congratulations.
You had mentioned on a post at the first autograph, hey, and he got the cassette tape right there too. Of course you do. You had mentioned you got the first autograph you got when you came to Atlanta was from Outkast, and then recently you met with Three Stacks and kind of had a bit of a 360 moment. You know, how was that experience, and how do you feel about Cass being given this amazing honor, so well deserved, of course?
Man, of course, well deserved. I second that. I third that, man. Just seeing that evolution, because, you know, that's another reason why I'm here. Players Ball video. You know, watching that and seeing Diddy and the barbecue and people that look like us and the flip-flops and socks. It looked totally different from Detroit, but it looked fun. You know what I'm saying? So when I seen Players Ball, that was 94, and that was like, and I'm hearing these streets like Greenbrier and the Mall and Campbellton Road, and it was just all these things that were like magnetizing me and attracting me to the city of Atlanta. So it was only right that I got here, and then in 96, they held an in-store for their single Elevators off the AT Aliens album. So I was a fan, like, shoot, I'm going to get a chance to meet them. And they weren't as big, you know, it wasn't, but it's still Outkast. So I showed up, got my autograph, the picture was there, and then I even waited around, and I took another picture because some guys was eating, and it was called Chick-fil-A. I wasn't familiar with that. And I look how big Chick-fil-A is, but in the picture, it was CeeLo of Goody Mob and T-Mo. They were back there eating, and I kind of didn't know them as much. But that picture, look years later, it's Goody Mob. You know what I'm saying? So to be able to have that moment in the relationship, because every Outkast, I probably got more autographs from Big Boy. Like, he signed everything. You know what I'm saying? And it was dope for him to be on the news. Like, either you were there or you wasn't, like Nuface. Like, so it's just dope, and it's well deserved. And I hope to be a part of, even go to LA when they get inducted, or I'm gonna just find a way to go there and be a part of the celebration. But I'm gonna try to find my way in, and then, like you said, to be at the show at the Fox Theater with Andre, again, full circle moment. You know what I'm saying? It's just an honor for him to be evolving and doing what he loves with the, you know, with the Flute album. Some people were reluctant to it, but I just love people doing what makes them happy. To get autographs in, because there was other people who said they tried to get autographs and he denied it. So he signed like 3 things, because I always say take your pick. I don't want to take your time and you know, sign everything, but he signed 2 things, and it's just priceless to see that evolution and see them still be like normal. Like, I see Big Boy just having a normal day. We'll be at a game, and it's just, he's like one of us, but they are superstars and well deserved. So congratulations. And footnote, I wanted to do a post about this. When they won that award at the Source Awards, it was Salt and Pepper who also got inducted, but it was Salt and Pepper that made the announcement and presented them an award. And if you look back at the tape, they were kind of surprised. And there's been documentaries on that Dungeon Family, but the way they were like, and the winner is Outkast. And you were watching, and then that's what really started the, you know, with Andre kind of being like, the South got something to say. You know what I'm saying? So ironically, for them to be inducted at the same time, I'll never forget how New York and Salt and Pepper, even at that point, were just like, okay, who is these country dudes winning awards and for this New York, you know? So footnote, some stuff I noticed as a rap fan.
I love it. I love it. Well, since you are a rap fan, sir, let's get into that. Who is on Nuface's hip hop Mount Rushmore?
Well, I'm always start with Tupac. That's one of my just personal favorites. My daughters went to the Tupac Kids Camp. Afeni Shakur was like their professor. They taught creative writing, journaling, and everything. So I'm always, and just what he meant to me, and then being able to build with his mother, Afeni Shakur, meant the very most, and I can see where he get his knowledge and everything from her. So R.I.P. to both of them. But I'm gonna always go with Tupac. I got Scarface. I got T.I., and I probably got Outkast.
Nice. That's a nice lineup. That is a
Yeah.
very nice lineup. Now, bro, you live a very interesting life. Like, I saw you recently at a shooting range with Twista, and of course, you brought him the CD and the cassette of
Yeah.
Adrenaline Rush. Is this like a normal day in the life of Nuface?
Yeah, and I call that the new normal because, like, it is like it's normal to me, but when just a normal post is people like, what the fuck, like what, how, like a gun range with Twisted, like how, and then you go to the show with Kendrick, like all in the same day, and it's like how, but it's just the relationships because Twister was in town. I've booked him for some shows like in Atlanta, like some More Than Culture, so he kind of knows of me. And he invited me and Four Eyes to come out. Four Eyes is from Chicago.
Shout out to Four
Yeah,
Eyes.
so Four Eyes is from Chicago. Even Cap One, Caviar Dreams, he came out, and that was that Chicago bunch. But we came out, shot some guns. They gave me the biggest gun first. And if you see the video, I almost blew my face off. You know, Nuface, I almost got a new face. They gave me a 50 Desert Eagle. It was like a tank on my arm, and I'm about 100 pounds wet, so it was fun. But man, that was just life changing though. But it was an honor to see him in his passion again. You know, this is one I grew up on Twister. You see, none of this stuff is like I bought yesterday. Like when it came out, I bought it. When it came out on cassette, I bought it. I bought it when it came out. So for him to sign it and have that moment with him, and him even texting me like, where to eat in Atlanta, like to be the go-to guy from people that I just look up to, that's just a total honor. So I embrace it all, but I do look, I don't even get a chance to look through my phone because I'm surprised. Like, this is not normal, but kind of to me it is. So I take it with a stride of salt and just be humble about it, and I never know what the next day holds, but I'm kind of prepared for it. If I think like tonight or tomorrow is a Cash Money show, so I'm keeping this on deck, and I'll be with Turk. Yesterday I was with Mac and Fiend. We just did the Kendrick show. You know, I work out at the swag shop at Killer Mike, so I keep Killer Mike stuff on me. I showed that to Kendrick, West Coast, so I just try to be prepared for any moment. And if I don't have it, like, it's times where I see artists and I'm like, I want to go home so bad. I want to get this autograph, but so I have to even balance that. Like, if I don't get the autograph, what does that feel like? You know what I'm saying? Like, to get invited to the Kendrick show from Top Dog, like that, he owns a label, to have that, you know, that relationship is like, I didn't get the autograph, but I've met him. I went to his very first show. So, you know, it's just like sometimes, but like even with Snoop Dogg, it's times I went to his shows, get autograph, I didn't get it, but we got him on 85 South show, and I laid everything out. And he was like, no, slow down, I'm gonna roll up this joint. And man, he's like, that's what I like to sign. You sitting on $1 million, nephew. Like, that's what I like to sign. So it just full circle moment that it made me realize that I don't have to get the moment when I want it. It's supposed to happen. It's going to happen when it's supposed to happen. So for me to get that moment with Snoop Dogg and he just signed everything, and to get that moment, that meant more than any time that I probably showed up and went home empty-handed, because I just embraced the experience. And that's really what Nuface was there is about, like just being present in the moment. I share for other people, but it's just really about being there and hearing other people tell me I was there too, or I remember that too. That's what I kind of do it for.
Yeah, I always, me and Brianna were talking about this. I say, anytime we go to an event, Nuface is there. It's to the point where I see you so much, we just point at each other like, what up, bruh? What up, bruh? Nuface was there.
And I like that because it's just, I'm from Detroit, and not to just take it there, but like we all got that person that just always got bad news or something in their life or drama, or I don't, you know, that guy that when they come over there, you know, it's just about to change the whole mood of everything. Yeah. I just know I want to change that narrative of when at least I'm in the room, I added value, or added a smile to somebody's face, because it could be worse. Like Nuface could be the guy that he ran off on somebody's money, or he took somebody's girl. Like it could be the opposite. So I want to really just show people that, like, you know, I don't need to be the highlight of the room, but because I was there, it made somebody's day.
That's what's up. And I've been keeping up with your journey for a while, and all the things that you do around the city. I've seen different people have been giving you advice, you know, on how to monetize your movement. How's that going for you?
Great. Because people ask me things, and now I say, what's the budget, or what's that look like? And
there you go.
Because I used to put that post. I was like, everybody be talking about let's build, but it seems like you only using my bricks. So it's like I'm trying to find out how it's beneficial for both people, because I know the value I have. And I always tell people, if I have to sell what I do, I don't even want that I don't want to sell because you know what the value I bring, and if I have to argue about a price or anything, I'd rather not. I want you to be secure, and that's what's been happening from social media posts. I highlight artists on my page. I do food reviews. I go to black-owned restaurants, so I'm able to get compensated for that, plus the free food and do content. And that's introducing art restaurants from Trap Wings, Sea Salt, Happy Hour, like multiple brands like that, where I'm able to go to their places, and it means a lot because I don't have a job. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a 9 to 5, and I haven't had one since I owned the Avis maybe 13 years ago, and that wasn't a job. I owned a franchisee. But I wasn't able to be Nuface there. You know, I had the money. I had the house in Fayetteville where my daughters went to school and it's a farmer. Like, I had that, but I really wasn't walking in my purpose because I kind of had to dim my light. Like, I had to just be Larry, the agent or the owner of the chain. So I didn't tell people I was Nuface. Or I wasn't one of those people like, come visit my black-owned rental-car service. Like, I just was me. I was me, and I didn't tell nobody when I was at work like I'm about to go to Killer Mike's show or I'm about to do, like, I just had to corporate me and go to work and check out, pick my kids up from school, do the homework, and do the Nuface after. Because back then I was making clothes for artists. That's where it really came from. I had a house fire, so everything kind of burnt. I lost everything. So when people say I have everything now, just they don't know, like, I lost everything in a house fire like years ago, and I didn't have any clothes. So I used to go to Goodwill with me and my daughter, and we would buy clothes, but I didn't want it to be the same. So I would write her name, my name, matching zodiac signs, or cool phrases on it. You know I can, and people would be like, "Where you get that?" And I would say, "I would make that because I'm a creative artist, so I draw and paint already." But people would come to my house and be like, "Nobody sees this," so I started just painting on shirts and pants and making clothes for like dancers at Magic City. Like, I used to make clothes for dancers at Magic City, but it's back when you would like give them $1 and like slowly, so you would and they top wouldn't come off to like $10. So you would see the shirt I made for a little while, but then the Meech era came and making it rain, and so they would come out wearing my shirt that I made them, and then it'd be on the floor in like 2 seconds, and it's like, yeah, I need to find another way. So it was making clothes for comedians, so like K-Dub, Carlos Miller, and all Ronnie Jordan, all the comedians that like big now. I was making clothes for them, and they would wear on stage. DJ Drama, so my clothes would be in music videos. Yo MTV Raps, Rap City, from because of R.I.P. Nara hosting, the Bishop of Crunk, Little John, and that's where it really came from.
Wow, man, you touched so many different areas in terms of that. What do your kids and your family, think about all the relationships you've built with these legendary entertainment figures?
Man, and that was a goal too. I do this for them. Like, I remember those mafia movies where kids would go and get bread from the store, and the owner of the store was like, "Your money's no good. Your father's, a well-respected guy. Your money's no good." And so for me to go like the Atlanta United and go through the back door and have the suites and be able to take my kids, and my kid is, talking with 2 Chainz and Lotto, and because they know me, they sign her soccer ball, and to bring them events like the 2 Chainz back to school things, and kind of just get privileges because of my networking and my relationship and the respect that people have for me, where it's an easy call, and that's really what I do it for. And for me to get a text from my daughter Karma and say, she was at a college course and they were talking about networking and social capital, and she was like, "And I thought of you," that made it all worth it, because that's what I did it for. This is not for me. This is culture stuff. I have fun and I live off the land and to the everything else, and trying to find the monetizing about it. But this is really passion. Like, I'm not money motivated. I'll figure it out. Like you said, I'm figuring it out still. I'm doing hosting. People would DM me like, can you host this? Like, I'm hosting a block party May 31st in Oakland City with my friend Victor Sanchez. So it's like people like that just realize the value and just ask, and it's an easy yes. I read a book by Shonda Rhimes called The Year of Yes. And if you don't familiar with her, she did Scandal, Grey's Anatomy, and all those shows like that. And she just took it was a lot going on, and she would say no to a lot of things, but she took a year to just say yes to everything, and her life changed. And so if somebody asked me to pull up to a podcast, pull up to this, and I just don't think about it. And that's where I don't, even with events, I see it, because what happens is I'm going to go, and then I don't go, and I see the picture, and they're like, "Oh, man, 2 Chainz, man, the mayor, everybody was there. I should have went." So now I just go, and then people were like, "When do you know when to go?" And I was like, something usually happens, and I'd be like, "That's why I went." and then I'll go to the next event. But that's how I always find my purpose at each event. I say I PYP, I party with a purpose. So that's what I'm doing. I'm not out there having fun. It's fun to me, but it's really much deeper. It's these relationships and seeing these people and me supporting my friends. It's about who on the flyer, the DJs, and maybe the DJ know Usher. Like, shout out to DJ Mars. He DJs for Usher, but I support his event. Sean Fallion. Like, this is personal friends of mine. You know what I'm saying? If Brianna Hip Hop have an event, I'm going to just pull up because of her. Now, she may have some superstars in the building, and that's great, but I'm really just supporting that platform and that person, and that's what I do it for, because that's what, as a brand owner, I'm doing what I wanted people to do for me. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be the change you want to see in the world, and that's my goal. It's like, all right, I'm winning. Like somebody said, Nuface created a lane off supporting others. And that's rare. And like, you can't start tomorrow because you can't collect like this stuff from, like, you have to be a Nuface. You had, like Transley said, you had to start like 10 years ago to be me. But I want more of me's, and that's just showing support. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hosted Transley album and being in Killer Mike's album credits for getting being a part of that album and getting Fable a Grammy. Like, I'm a hip hop fan, but to be able to get one of my friends first Fable a Grammy for being on my brother Killer Mike's album and win 3 Grammys off of that's priceless, because that's not normal.
Absolutely. And speaking of opportunities, you doing movies and stuff now too. You recently played the King of Crunk. How did that happen, bro?
Oh man, and shout out to the guys, Don P of Trillville. I was reluctant at first because I just remember Dave Chappelle playing Little John, and I didn't want it to be a joke. So,
right.
So I was even like, I'd rather be low LA and Trillville because he's quiet, he's light skinned, but they was like, no, in real life, like, Little John is like that. You see him, but in real life, the way he is, that's you. And then when they told me that, and they gave me the dreads, and I already had the clothes. They didn't have to do no wardrobe except the dreads. I had the FUBU. I had everything. I still had the crunk juice in the can. I still had the crunk juice.
Damn.
So it was easy. And it was an honor because, I was learning stuff that I didn't even know. I was with all the guys from Field Mob to Trillville, Scrappy, Diamond, Princess of Crime Mob. I just learned so much. So it was an honor to be part of that. And shout out to King June. He's put me in 3 movies. From For the Gram, I co-starred with Roscoe Dash and then other co-stars in multiple films. So, like, I'm on Tubi like 4 times. And again, I'm not an actor, but I just said yes. I'm support. Yeah. You think I could play Little John, and then when I posted the picture, Little John was like, wait, that was you? Like, so to even get that approval, like, okay, so he would have said, nah, well, he would have said, I wouldn't have did it if he wouldn't have, kind of approved it. So for him to get that approval, it meant a lot. And it's out now on Tubi and YouTube.
That's what's up. Well, we want you to continue to say yes, continue to keep doing what you're doing. We definitely appreciate you coming by and blessing us with all your fantastic energy and, of course, being that historian that hip-hop so desperately needs. Please tell everybody where they can find you and what you got coming in next, my brother.
You can find me, #Nuface was there, but pretty much outside from your favorite rap event, your concert, support my favorite friends. But if you want to go on social media, we got Nuface was there on TikTok. We got on Instagram, it's @Nuface on all platforms. I'm still on MySpace, man. I'll put you in my top 8, man. Pull up.
Let's go.
But we got this vision to create this museum. More information on that. I'm gonna have to move my museum space soon. So we're going to have a support group and a group chat about helping me find a new residence for the museum. But anytime outside, man, anything I can do for your brand, I am pulling up to Black-owned restaurants. I'm even doing promotion for artists on my page. It's a new artist spotlight. And again, you can catch me hosting the block party May 31st over in Oakland City. We got that coming up. And you can catch me at the swag shop on Edgewood, Killer Mike's Barbershop.
Let's go. Make sure y'all continue to tap in with Nuface. Also, make sure you subscribe to Hip Hop United on the iHeart app. Select Hip Hop United. Put us in the presets. We appreciate all the support. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And remember, Nuface was here.
It's official
Let's go.
now. Hey, you see it.